Wait just 1 minute. This dude looks kind of familiar. Large eyes, bald head. I don't know, I got nothing. Oh, that's lovely. I like that. Oh, that's a lovely song. I like that. That's lovely. I like that. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Espoir David and I'd like to play a game called My Boyfriend. Something familiar about that. A game where you have an apartment and a roommate, and you work at a restaurant as a server, and you meet a stranger in the park, on a bench. I wonder what that warning was for. Oh, would you look at that? A new one has arrived. Who you talk about? You talk about me? Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ah, tell me this. What is your name? I am Espoir, means hope in French. Espoir. I like that shade of pink. That's a nice shade of pink. My name is Espoir. Espoir? Thank you for your cooperation. What did I agree to? We hope your memory hasn't been too damaged. It'd be a shame if you suddenly forgot your name just like that. But now you must wake up. Who are you? Are you the G-Man? You need to wake up. What are you saying? Who are you? Oh, snap. Oh, snap, I'm awake and I don't think I want to be. Oh. Adorable. Let's try this again. Uh-oh. It's the usual going on for me. It's like a crappy Groundhog Day story. Just some poor sap who works at a restaurant for minimum wage in this godless world. Oh, you mean America? I thought after cutting all ties from my past, life would be easier. I mean, it did, for a bit. That your name is so cute. Cutting off your family baggage did wonders and moving out did help until I had to get a job and find a place to live for cheap. Now, here I am, in the only apartment in town with a crappy roommate and a crappier, but very handsome, landlord. Hopefully the landlord is handsome. In this crappy nowhere town. Onamar. Not Onamar. I definitely rushed in moving out from my original home. But ever since I moved to Onamar, there was a stranger that could never leave my mind. I've always gone to this side of the park to cool down, recharge myself like a phone battery, because of how barren it is. Just the sound of nature. But I'm looking forward to seeing him again later on today. Wait a minute. But we're complete strangers, and it's not like we met through some speed dating place or Tinder or something. Well, it was Tuesday, September 9th, 7:16 p.m. I will remember that day until the day I die, because it was possibly the worst day of my meaningless existence. Every day I go to work, I wonder to myself, I should be a writer with how many different variations I can think of for seriously tired of this. Customers throwing a fit because of too much ketchup, having another customer accuse me of stealing food because their order didn't get through online, which is why I have to work a double shift. Another customer throwing a drink at my face, and so many customers. The restaurant was packed all day. Even CY, my closest co-worker, one of my closest friends since middle school, could barely keep up. And I feel incredibly bad for them in particular. Always had to cover my buns whenever I get to work late. This is what happens when you're the only local restaurant within the general area. I'm scared for what they'll do when I have to pay them back. I shudder. I'm complaining more and more of my life. Even I'd find myself annoying after a while. Anyway, I left my restaurant with a hunched back, tired eyes that were one step closer to falling out, and aching feet. CY had to leave immediately after his shift ended, so I didn't have anyone to vent my frustrations on. Not that it matters. I didn't have the mental capacity to even talk or say simple words. It had gotten to the point where, looking at anyone being slightly pleasant, it was on sight. On sight. So, imagine, I walk down a familiar road to my sanctuary, my refuge, haven. whatever you would call it, to find peace for a small moment. I didn't feel like going home, knowing that I would be greeted with yet another overdue rent mail. I'm trying the best I can to earn money along with Lexi, my roommate, but she says she can't pitch in for rent for whatever reason. I've tried to talk to her that rent needs to be paid now, yet it's almost impossible for her to budge. I doubt the landlord is going to push for another extension. What is making her so secretive? The walk was quiet enough, a far cry from what I'm used to. Before moving, I lived in a big city, so I'm used to stuff like traffic and constant noises. I'll have to walk to a highway to find anything like that. Wind was picking up right in front of me, as if the universe were not allowing me to get to that darn park. Shuddering even more, I closed up my hoodie. Now I was wishing that I brought something thicker, as I put my hands in my pockets. I started to rush by the time I got to Cordonzo Park, my destination. The park itself was old, older than the town itself, but the oldness has its charm, at least to me. Some people thought it was spooky or cursed after what I think is someone's death. It boasts elms, chestnuts, and maple and oak trees all over. It seems as a perfect spot for picnics and some of the town's festivals, especially during spring, because of all of the fruit trees and cherry blossoms that bloom. But none of that matters, not in the slightest, because I'm only for a recluse spot in the park where my actual sanctuary lies. I had to walk to certain trees I carved to remember where I was as a shortcut. Afterwards, there was a linear trail that eventually led to a closed-off pathway because of some fallen trees. That dude looks a little familiar. Oh well. Even in my work shoes, they were very easy to climb on before leading right back to the ground. It wasn't long before I found the bench among the oak trees in this barren spot. There was only one LED park light nearby that would have made only a few things here discernible at night. But it wasn't empty. It was occupied by some guy. He looked incredibly lanky, as if the wind would knock him over any second. Judging by how long his legs are, he looked tall too, but my judgment of height isn't amazing. He was sitting at the same bench I usually sit at, now incredibly tired, stressed out, and frustrated out of my mind of having to deal with ungrateful customers for 12 hours. Oh, you poor thing. I would have told off that poor butthead for being at my sulking bench. But I saw a pack of cigarettes at the path that I was on. I recognized the brand, L and N. Eventually, I put two and two together. He's smoking. Don't do smokes, kids. That's surprising. I don't notice the obvious sometimes. He was clearly looking for the pack, with his hands digging into his pocket. The most surprising that has happened today was that I gave him his missing pack of cigarettes, asking him if it was his. He looked annoyed that I even approached him, but cooled down after seeing what I was holding in my hand. He muttered a thanks. Now, I don't know what came over me when I asked if I could sit with him. Maybe I was just that stubborn to relax. Or maybe I was that infatuated by him for whatever reason. Probably the latter. What was more surprising is that he scooted over, practically moving to the edge of the bench. Hold on a second. Wait just 1 minute. This dude looks kind of familiar. Large eyes. Bald head. I don't know, I got nothing. We both sat in silence for a painful 60 seconds, and I wanted to break the ice somehow. Nice shirt vest? What brand is it? I haven't seen that before. Of course I haven't seen it before. I don't know every clothing brand in the world. And of course he didn't talk. I tried another topic. Do you come here often? All right, it's not the best conversation starter, but at least I'm trying. I don't think this poor guy wants to talk. With yet another silent response, I was about to cut my losses and just not talk to this guy. It's not insulting or whatever. I wouldn't know what to do if someone just came up to me wanting to start a conversation, especially since that's how I was not even 10 minutes ago. Now that I think about it, I worry that I'm making this stranger uncomfortable. After all, he's probably here to relax, like me, and doesn't want some goober trying to strike up a conversation with him. The trees were looking more and more like silhouettes. It was starting to get late. It's not abnormal for me to come home at night, but it's not like I'm going to cool down here. Right when I'm about to leave, I felt my shoulder being nudged. Turning over, I see the stranger hand me the pack of cigarettes I returned to him earlier. I didn't say anything, so he finally spoke. You want one? Actually, what I'd love to do is I'd love to save my game. I don't smoke. No thank you, sweetheart. I refused his offer. The stranger shrugged. No, you have all that. You have all that. Suit yourself. He's got fangs, too. That looks really familiar. I can't quite put my finger on it. Oh well. He was still smoking his own roll, but it looked like it was running out. He takes a heavy breath out, letting the smoke flutter into the wind, dropping the butt of the used cigarette and stomping on it. Unfortunately, the wind decided to be a crap and blow it towards my face. How dare you, wind? How dare you? I'm trying to have a moment here. I ended up inhaling the smoke straight into my mouth, irritating the heck out of my throat and eyes. Ooh. Aw. I wheezed and hacked for a bit, and the stranger chuckled at that display. I had never gotten that irritated from tobacco like that. Admittedly, I got a little embarrassed, a faint blush painting my cheeks and a frustrated frown. I take it that you're not used to this stuff. You drink instead? Asked the gray stranger. Yeah, but not often. I know someone who drinks a lot, though. Hope she doesn't get an overdose from it, I answered, keeping the people I know vague. The stranger hums in response, but then suddenly starts frowning. Crap, I hope I wasn't being annoying. I only answered a question. Jeez. I wonder what's up with this guy, but it's not my business to pry, I guess. Still, I can't help but get curious. I take a closer look at this guy. I noticed how baggy his eyes are. It could have easily been mistaken for eyeshadow or something. Heck, that's what I thought it was. He obviously doesn't get enough sleep. It's a miracle he didn't fall asleep on the spot after sitting down for over a minute. He definitely looks like he has insomnia, and a chronic one at that. Not that I can judge. I've been getting trouble sleeping since I've moved in. Hopefully, the guy gets better, but I can barely help myself. He's clearly thinking about something, though. Maybe I shouldn't ask. Screw it. So, you work at Little M Diner? He asked suddenly, turning to look at my face. Huh? I didn't know if I should answer honestly or not, but I was already in the middle of my response. Yep, I do, all right. What's up? You do? I thought you looked familiar. He was starting to glance away again. Do I know you? I asked, genuinely curious. I'm pretty bad at remembering faces, and even worse at remembering names. He looked to be in thought again, tapping his foot now in a fast motion. He almost looked nervous. Just curious, that's it, was all he said. I would have taken that as strange if I didn't notice the slight blush on his cheeks. Does he have a crush on me? Or am I thinking too much into this? Either way, this guy definitely had more on his mind after I confirmed where I worked. I don't know why I admitted that to some stranger. The stranger looked to be having finished his drag and dropped his empty cig into the ground and put it out with a stomp. He got up from the bench, about to walk away from the park. I can't help but want to still talk to this guy, and I knew I was starting to miss out on that opportunity the moment he stood up. Before I knew it, I called out, "Wait." He turned his head, looking surprised. Did you... Espoir, you're gonna ask him to go on a date when you don't even know his name. I have a feeling that you've done that before. Wanna go on a date? I suddenly blurted out, Date? I barely knew the guy. Why did I say date? I sloppily tried to correct myself. I didn't mean date. I just meant more like a hangout date. I mean, just hang out. Maybe I'm going crazy, but it looked like the stranger's eyes lit up for a second. It took a while for him to answer, putting his hands in his pockets and thinking over his answer. He started to fidget, looking more nervous than he ever did before. Eventually, after a dragged-out silence, he spoke. Sure, maybe we can go to where you work. He dragged on the last word, sounding more unsure of his suggestion. Where I work? It wouldn't be the best place to be in on my day off. Ugh. But at the same time, it would be the safest. After all, I'm having a date with this stranger. If anything were to happen, I'm running to my nearest coworker to help me not get kidnapped or something. Haha, why would that happen? Heck, do I want to go on this date at all? I did just blurt that out for some reason. I can easily lie and say that I forgot I was busy the whole week. No. Yeah, we can hang out tomorrow. I have a day off tomorrow, so I can hang out with you. Just tell me when and I'll be right on time, I said, finger gunning over to his direction, just like, psh, yeah, I'm totally not nervous and probably making a really bad decision. He looked content with that, ignoring how cringy I probably looked. He tries to imitate the finger gun thing too, but he clearly didn't have the energy. Aw, you go home and get some sleep, baby. A lot of sleep, jeez. Oh, he's got bandages on his hand. I knew that looked familiar. I know who this guy is now. I know exactly who this guy is now. It's Pedro. Cool. Is 1 o'clock good? He asked. I nodded. That's perfect. I'm going to set an alarm for that, I muttered to myself before opening up my phone to go to my clock. Suddenly, I remembered the obvious. I never got the stranger's name. Oh, one more thing. I never got your name. If I ever see you again, I don't want to keep calling you stranger or random guy or something. Suddenly, his face turned into a grimace. He looked away, sighing in frustration, upset at such a simple question. I don't like my name. In fact, I hate it. You can call me whatever you want. I don't care if it's stupid. It can't be ever as bad as my real name, he said. That was the most he ever spoke this whole time. He hates his name that much? He must have some awful parents that he wants to detach himself from. Maybe he's trans and doesn't want me dead naming. Either way, I respected his decision, even if I wanted to know his real name to keep it safe. It's Pedro, isn't it? Your name is Pedro. All right. I'll think of something. Pedro, because I care about you. Your name is Pedro. How about Pedro? Because I'm totally going to go back and name him Peter in another playthrough. I like that. I'd rather be called that. And that was that. I'm glad he appreciated the name, no matter if it was tacky or just straight up rude. All right then, Pedro. I'm going to be calling you that from now on. I was starting to get so comfortable that I forgot that it was starting to get dark. I'm going to need to head back home, and I'm pretty sure he has places to be as well. Oh, right, I gotta get home. Sorry for the sudden goodbye. It's good. I'm heading home too. See you whenever. But dude, you don't know my name. See you later. Oh, hey, and I didn't forget about that whole thank you for your cooperation thing at the beginning. What's that all about? We both left the park. I needed to nap anyway. I took the shortcut to get back to my apartment, but with the limited amount of streetlights, it was really hard to see. It was starting to get cold, and all I had was a light jacket. On my walk back, I started to think about that stranger, meddling in my own infatuation. It was completely out of character for me to be that social, but it was only to that guy, Pedro. My mind suddenly descends into daydreams, and before I knew it, I'm suddenly back to my apartment. Before walking to my bedroom, I picked out some instant soy sauce ramen noodles. Oh, my favorite? My roommate, Lexi, wasn't home yet. I'm assuming she went out to study with someone in another place that isn't here. Thank God. I shouldn't be too annoyed, though. Admittedly, she's careful of who her clients are, so she knows that they aren't murderers or whatever. Imagine that happening. And she's making extra money. I just wish that her and whoever random schmuck walked in here realized that this apartment is not big and I can hear them from my bedroom. Studying and playing Mario Kart while waiting for the water to boil. I'm getting hungry now. I started texting Lexi if she got her keys now that I'm home. I'm not a fan of waking up in the middle of the night with several missed calls because she left her keys somewhere in her room. It's not fun on the dispensing end either. At least that's what I think the opposite of receiving end is called. I think so. Putting my phone back in my pocket, I put the noodles and flavoring packet into the boiling water, and after several minutes, I poured my ramen into a bowl. After getting some chopsticks, I start devouring the cheap ramen. It was all right. If it was the soy sauce brand, then it was delicious. My now empty bowl of ramen is placed into the kitchen sink, and I leave to go to my room, turning off the kitchen lights. Moving over to my bedroom, I took off my work clothes and changed to my pajamas, a loose, oversized tank top and boxers. Making myself relaxed, I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and sighed. Home, sweet home. I got a notification on my phone, a response from Lexi. Yeah, got my keys. You don't have to wait till 1 to get the door, lol. I walked over to my closet at the corner of the bedroom, feeling pretty proud that I called the walk-in closet first when I moved in with Lexi. I moved some clothes out of the way, regretting having thrown some of them on the ground. The annoyance quickly disappeared upon turning on the dim light in the closet, closing myself upon the hanging clothes to obscure anyone from seeing my shrine. What? Oh no! My shrine of Mason.
Now, we don't have time to unpack all of that.
Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs! All of these pictures that I've collected over the course of months, taped lovingly on the walls with every angle of Mason, far and close. Some stolen clothes from his closet that would never be missed, placed in a pile to smell every night before I sleep so I can remember it in my dreams. That's a good idea. Wait, no, I'm what? Huh? What? I'm not gonna do that. What? That is a good idea, though. Various objects that he dropped, from used tissue that he used to relieve himself, to bottle caps that he oh so loves to collect. He's been very adamant about that hobby. It's adorable to see his little collection. I just couldn't take it. Finally, 3 white boxes at the right, containing a single peony, a single rose, and a single orchid, respectively from top to bottom. Do I need to remember that? It didn't matter if I accepted the date or not. I will see him again, and he will be given one of these flowers. Of course, real this time, not the fake ones that are in that box. I needed to go to the flower shop to make my decision. Oh, Mason. I know I'm just a stranger to you, but I've known you for all those 9 months. I was so nervous to finally go up to you, but now I have you. I'm in your mind, your memory, and I'll make sure that we're going to be together. No matter what it takes, no matter how much blood, sweat, and tears I'll have to sacrifice, no matter how many people I sacrifice at all. Lexi! I see that look in your eyes. You want me as much as I want you, don't you, Mason? God, you even let me name you. It's like you wanted me to tag you. Ha! Oh no, I am the yandere. I am the love-struck person. Wait, that's just a spa. You can try and deny it. It doesn't matter. I know you. Oh God, do I know you. I sound disgusting. If you can hear me, I'm sure you'd understand what it's like to find your new adoration, your beautiful obsession. Breathing in your clothes isn't enough anymore, but now we're closer than a passerby. I love you too much to have you slip away through my fingers. After all, you are my boyfriend. Oh dear, that was the prologue? Oh, Mason, you're in trouble. That was adorable. Absolutely adorable. Ooh, there's 2 more pictures to get. Hey there, Editor Espoir here. I just had a thought when I said something about collecting pictures. In these visual novels, isn't the goal kind of to collect pictures of your love interest? Kinda like a crazy stalker would collect pictures of their love interest? We were the crazy stalker all along. We've been collecting pictures. It was us. It was us all along. We were the crazy yanderes collecting pictures of the one we love. Okay, I'll get back to work now. What if I took a cigarette? Like, yeah, sure, I smoke all the time. I took a cigarette, and the stranger helped light it. I was no addict, but I did take a smoke or two before. I don't know what Lexi is talking about. It never calms my nerves. All it did was fill my lungs with weed. But this is tobacco, so maybe it'd be different. It was not. It took all of my strength to not cough my lungs right out. The stranger chuckled at that display. Aww. Not into it? Ha, no. I get why people do it, but it's not my thing. Which was true. You drink instead? The stranger asked. I do, but not as much as a friend I know. She drinks, like, a lot. But hey, good for her. As long as she doesn't overdose, I'm golden, adding on. The stranger hums in response. I started getting a little more relaxed, but he still looked tense. I wonder what's up with this guy. But it's not my business to pry, I guess. Still, I can't help but get curious. What if I say, I lie and I'm busy? Why would you lie, Espoir, if you're so obsessed with him? Aw, crap, sorry. I forgot that I was busy all week. I lied, hoping that he didn't decide to go to the restaurant tomorrow. I don't consider myself the best liar, so this is a little worrying. Apparently, the stranger looked more upset from that, but he started speaking. Oh, okay, I get it. That restaurant is always packed. I'm not surprised you're that busy, he said, shrugging it off, or at least pretending to shrug it off. Again, I apologized, but he reassured me that it's all good. Suddenly, I remembered the obvious. I never got the stranger's name. You know I gotta do it to him. I gotta see. Editor me. Put some dramatic music over me slowly typing his name. And nothing happens. Okay, I refused the cigarette. I agreed to the date. But now, we know his real name. So I wonder what would happen if I... Editor me, cue that same dramatic music. Uh-oh. Oh no, but I did it on purpose this time. I mean, Mason's a pretty common name. It's a cute name. You don't have to be so upset. I feel bad about making him upset. Wait, what? Huh? What's wrong? How do you know my name? Your name? I didn't know that was your real name. She lied. You sure? Yeah. Plus, Mason is a pretty common name. Yeah, see? The psycho gets it. I mean, Espoir gets it. Sorry if I made you uncomfortable. Just give me another name. All right. I'll think of something. Oh, I don't want to be mean, and I don't want to keep calling him that. Bruh. I'm gonna have to. It's such a cute name. Okay, I think it just repeats. Fine. I will give you the very first name that I bestowed upon someone similar. Alto. Because you're tall. How about Alto? Actually, Alto's a really cute name. I like that. I'd rather be called that. Alright. Alto Pedro it is. Yay, I got all the pictures. Aw, he's so mad. Aw. That was cute. That was adorable. I like that. I'd like there to be more games where you are the psycho stalker instead of the person in the game. They are an adorable little psycho stalker. Who was that greeting me in the opening? But I'd love to know what you think in the comments, and maybe you can scratch this bit of deja vu that I keep getting from this game. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. Take care of yourself, have a great night, and remember, there is always hope.